internet's been so slow. I doubt you'll be.
We're live. Cool. Yeah. Phew. Internet issues. All right. So we are live today on Wednesday for another mindful challenge movement practice. So really the idea is just to make sure that everyone is getting up and moving a little bit and maybe doing something different than you have been doing over the last few weeks. So my model here is going to be my yoga demonstrator as we move through the practice. So if you have any questions, you can refer to him and look at his postures. So we'll go ahead and we'll start in child's pose. And when you come into child's pose, you want to have the shins completely on the mat or on the floor, and you'll bring the forehead down to the floor. And if that's not accessible, you can always stack the palms or the fists to raise the floor up. And if you have any props, you can also use a prop like a block. If you have a pillow that you're using as a prop, you can also use that as well. So when you come into the pose, feel the sit bones pressing back towards the heels, and then feel the heart softening down towards the thighs. When you feel the forehead come into contact with the surface that you are connecting to, feel the sit bones relaxing, feel the heart starting to relax, and all of the tension that you might be holding on into the shoulders and the neck starting to soften. You can use all of this awareness now to kind of dial in and tune into the body and see what's going on. When you come into this pose now, feel the tops of the thighs relaxing and feel the sit bones pressing as far back to the heels, and then feel softness coming through the thighs. We'll take 2 or 3 more breaths here, arriving on our mats and arriving in this space. It's only 30 minutes for our practice today. Getting the body moving, and being mindful of what you're doing in this moment. So try and let go of what you're doing for the rest of the day and breathe into what you are doing right now. Close the eyes if they aren't, and take 2 more deep breaths. And then you can begin to rise up, stack the spine, and come onto the shins. If that's uncomfortable for the shins or the knees, then you can come into a comfortable seated pose with the legs crossed in front. If you're on your shins, then feel the sit bones again pressing into the heels. Pull the navel into the spine to protect the low back, and you'll lift up through the center of the chest. When you do this, be careful not to jet the front of the ribs out. You want everything to align over the hips. Palms face down on the thighs. And then tuck the chin slightly so you feel the back of the neck nice and long. Close the eyes here. Tune back into your breath, breathing deeply in and out of the nose. You'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. And as you feel the thumbs press into the heart, take this moment here with all of your awareness into this space, this time right now, and choose an intention for the rest of your day. And think about your intention as how you want your day to go. Think about the feelings that you want to feel. Take 1 more breath here. And then you'll blink the eyes open, release the hands to the thighs. If this is uncomfortable again on the shins, then you can come onto the sit bones. Now we're going to come forward and tuck all of the toes. Come back onto the heels and stack the spine. So the heels are going to be lifted up and you're going to be stretching the bottoms of the feet. When you sit the sit bones back onto the heels, you'll lift back up through the chest, stack the spine, and feel the crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Arms are going to come out to a cactus pose or a goalpost pose. You can even open them out to a T if you would like. Open up through the chest, lift through the heart, pull the shoulder blades together behind the back. Take 1 more big breath in. and a big breath out. Then you're going to cross the right arm underneath the left. Keep the elbows bent and the backs of the hands will touch, or maybe the palms will circle to touch. And then lift the elbows in line with the shoulders. Press the palms away, and then see if you can stay here for a moment. Feel the tops of the shoulders move away from the ears. Make sure you're not holding your breath here. Take one more full cycle slowly in and out of the nose. And then you'll open the arms back up, pull the shoulder blades together, and then as you exhale, cross the arms in the opposite direction now. Lift the elbows in line with the shoulders, press the palms away, and then pause here for a moment. If this is too much for the heels, you can always lean forward slightly, and that will take pressure off the bottoms of the feet. Take one more breath here, and a full breath out. Open the arms back to that cactus shape, and then you'll exhale, come forward, really gentle, come to table pose. Be very gentle to the back and the spine here. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Feel the ears in line with the shoulders and reach the crown of the head forward as you reach the tailbone back. The navel is still engaged, so you're pulling the belly button towards the spine to protect the low back. Close the eyes here. On your inhale, reach the heart forward and the tailbone is back for cow pose. When you exhale, round the back, spread the shoulders. Navel comes towards the spine for cat pose. Inhale to reach the heart forward. Exhale to round. Continue to move. You can always bring in some other movements into the spine, into the hips and body, wagging the hips. Can get into the wrist, shake out the hands, maybe even flip the palms. So do a couple of movements here, but wherever you are, you want to stay connected to your breath, maybe even closing the eyes to keep your focus directed inward. One more cycle here. And then we'll pause here, ground the palms into the mat or into the floor. Extend the right foot to the back of the mat. You're going to look forward, step the foot between the palms. You can help the foot there if you need to. As you walk the foot forward, feel the right ankle right underneath the right knee. Reach the heart forward and feel the shoulders move away from the ears. The chin is slightly tucked so that the back of the neck is long. With the core engaged, two ways to come up. You're either going to inhale to come up to the right knee with the palms, or inhale all the way up to the arms right alongside the ears. When you're ready, go ahead and move. Inhale all the way. Once you find that sweet spot, pause here, ground into the right foot. If the arms are lifted, reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. Be careful again not to jet the front of the ribs out. Push everything back over the hips. Take another big breath in and a big breath out. One more cycle here. And then bring the hands all the way down to the floor. Ground the left palm into the floor. Inhale to spiral the right hand up. Reach the right fingertips up. Open up through the chest. You're still keeping the core engaged to protect the low back. And then your option is to stay here, or you can bend the left knee, reach back with the right hand for the foot. Maybe you grab the foot, maybe not. Take one more breath. Even if the hand cannot touch the foot, reach it in that direction. Take one more cycle here. And then on your inhale, you'll release. Bring the right hand all the way back down to the floor. Bring the right knee in line with the left back into table pose. Ground the palms. And just notice now the imbalance between both sides of the body. Step the left foot to the back of the mat, and then you'll step the foot between the palms, help it forward, and make sure that the ankle is right underneath the knee. When you're ready, you'll inhale to rise. Press into the ball of the left foot. Keep the core engaged. Feel the shoulders and the hip points both pointing forward. And then reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. Take another big breath in here to settle. On your exhale, bring the hands all the way down to the floor. Ground the right palm into the floor. Inhale to spiral the left hand up. As you press into the floor with the right hand, use the left fingertips to open up through the front of the chest. Soften the left shoulder away from the ear. And then choose if you want to stay here or if you want to bend that right knee. Reach back with the left hand for the foot. If you can reach the foot, pull the foot closer towards the sit bones. Use the navel to help increase the twist, gazing over the back shoulder. Wherever you are, continue to press into the right palm, pressing the earth away from you. One more full breath. On your inhale, gently unwind. Left hand comes down to the floor. Step the left knee back next to the right. Press back into child's pose. So when you do this, maybe stack the palms so that the center of the forehead can rest in the center of the palms. Feel the sit bones press back for the heels. And then maybe tune in now to the slight shift with your awareness. Take one more big breath here. And then let's reach the fingertips forward. Extend the hands to the front of the mat. Ground into the palms. And you're going to tuck the toes slightly and begin to lift the hips up into downward facing dog. You can walk the toes back slightly if you need to. Press into the palms. Lift the sit bones up high. And if this is inaccessible for you, you can always stay in table pose. You're still pressing the earth away, engaging the core, softening the shoulders away from the ears. In downward facing dog, feel the sit bones lift higher to the ceiling and the hamstrings press for the back of the mat or the back of the room. Take one more full breath here. And then look forward, very gently walk the feet to the hands, come into a forward fold towards the front of the mat. You can have the feet hip width distance or wider, grab onto opposite elbows, maybe sway from side to side. Take one more breath here. Release the fingertips for the floor. On your inhale, bring the hands to the shins. Reach the heart forward with a flat back. Exhale to fold forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, come up halfway. Hands can press into the shins. Reach the sit bones to a V shape. Inhale to come all the way up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale to bring the hands to the heart. Close the eyes here and then tune back into your intention. Imagine how you want your day to go. And imagine the feeling throughout the day. Bring all of your awareness back to this moment. Root into the feet, lift through the heart. Take one more full cycle of breath. Blink the eyes open. Inhale to sweep the arms out and up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale to lead with the heart, dive forward over the thighs, forward fold. Inhale, hands come to the shins, flat back, reach the heart forward, tailbone reaches back. Exhale to forward fold. Bend the knees, step back into plank pose or a push-up position or table pose. Once you find that position, press the earth away, keep the core engaged and slightly spread between the shoulder blades. Take one more breath in and then use the exhale to come into downward facing dog or table pose. Lift the sit bones nice and high, press the mat away from you. On your inhale, you're going to raise the right leg, step it forward between the palms. So if you're in table, just help the foot through between the palms. Once you get here, we're going to spiral the left foot down. Before you come up, I want you to make sure that you have a front heel to a back heel connection. When you come up, use the left arm to windmill all the way up, coming into warrior two. Start by looking at the back arm, making sure it's coming out of the body straight. And then you'll scoop the right sit bone underneath the hip. That's going to help point the right knee over that right foot. Extend the right arm forward, soften the shoulders. Take another big breath in and a big breath out. Flip the front palm. On your inhale, reverse the warrior. Gaze into the right palm, soften through the right shoulder, sink into that front knee. You can always come off of that front knee if it's a little bit too deep for the quad. Take one more cycle here. Use your inhale to come back to warrior two. Extend the fingertips away from one another. Straighten through the front leg. Press into the ball of the right foot. On your inhale, hinge forward slightly, and then use the exhale to bring the hand to the thigh. You can bring it down to the shin or the thigh or a block, but make sure that you're not dumping the weight there. Left hand comes up, or you can bring the hand to the hip. Feel the right ribs, the bottom ribs rotating forward, and the left shoulder stacking on top of the right. And then wherever you choose to be, press into the ball of the right foot. Take one more cycle of breath here. On your inhale, come back into warrior two, bend in the front knee, extend the fingertips away from one another. As you exhale, you're going to straighten through the legs, bring the hands to the hips, and square the feet, the edges of the feet. So when you do this, you want to feel the pinky side feet parallel to the sides of the mat. You're going to press through the outer edges of the feet so you don't dump the weight into the ankle. Inhale to lift up. As you exhale, you're going to fold all the way forward. You can release the hands right underneath the shoulders for support. And then if the hands don't comfortably come to the earth, you can use a block if you would like. You can walk the hands between the thighs. And then wherever you are, feel that extension through the hamstring and the glutes. So this might be pretty intense, especially if we're sitting a little bit more, if we're not moving as much as we normally do. So take a moment here to let the breath open up through the body. You might even start to feel this in the sacrum, the low back, and the hips. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Take one more cycle here. And then you're going to place any props off of your mat. Begin to walk forward to the front of the mat. Come into a lunge. Step the right foot back next to the left. Find your plank pose. Press into the palms. Take one more breath in. Soften the shoulders from the ears. And then use the exhale to lift the sit bones. Come into downward facing dog or table pose. Find your breath once again. Take another full cycle here to settle. And on your next inhale, left leg lifts. Plant the foot between the palms. You can help the foot forward if you need to. Spiral the right foot down so that the front heel intersects with the back heel or back arch. Seal the outer edge of that back foot to the mat. And on your next inhale, windmill up with the right arm. Look at the back arm to make sure that the arm is coming out of the body straight. And I want you to scoop this left hip underneath the body. That's going to help point the left knee over that middle toe. Extend the fingertips away from one another. Soften through the shoulders. And then feel the heart opening up to the wide side of the mat. Gaze over the front middle finger. If it's too much for that front leg, you can always come off of it. Take one more breath to settle here. Keep the legs exactly how they are. Flip the left palm. Inhale to reverse your warrior. Gaze into the left palm. Right hand comes down the back thigh. Soften through the left shoulder. Take one more breath in. And a full breath out. Keep the core engaged. Inhale to come back to warrior two. Extend the fingertips away from one another. And then straighten through the front leg. Make sure that the ball of the left foot is still pressing into the mat. Hinge forward slightly from the hips. As you exhale, bring the left hand down to the floor, the shin, or the thigh. Right hand can extend up or right to the right hip. As you rotate the left hips towards the right side of your mat, can you soften into the pose and feel that stretch along the outer right hip? Use your breath here. Take one more full cycle. And then you'll inhale to come back into warrior two. Extend the fingertips away from one another. Rotate to where the feet point to the wide side of the mat. Parallel the edges of the pinky side feet to the short side of the mat. Hands can start at the hips. Inhale to extend up and out of the spine. As you exhale, you're going to hinge forward. Be careful not to hit your head on anything. And as you feel the outer edges of the pinky side feet pressing into the mat, reach the heart forward. You can release the hands underneath the shoulders. And then roll a little bit more weight into the toes. Soften here. You can let go in any pose that feels good. If you want to walk the hands between the thighs, if you want to bring the head down to the mat, you can do so. Wherever you choose to be here, just take a breath to settle. Let the breath come into the body, opening up through the hips and the thighs, the low back. Feel any tension in the center of the chest starting to release as well. One more full cycle here. And then you can remove any props that you might have brought to the mat. Begin to walk now to the front of the mat. Come into a lunge on the left side. Ground the palms into the mat. Extend the left leg back next to the right. Plank pose or table. Take a big, deep breath in. And then we're all going to come into child's pose. Shins come to the floor. And if the low back is tight or talking to you today, then you can have the big toes touching and the knees wide, and that's going to help give you a little bit more space for the low back. Wherever you choose to be, feel the heart softening down, any tension in the torso releasing, and then feel what's going on in the neck and in the head. Does the head feel heavy? Are you able to focus on this present moment? Is the mind racing? Just be aware of where you are right now. Take 2 more cycles. And then we'll extend the fingertips for the front of the mat. Inhale into the body. Use the exhale to walk the hands over to the left, or over to the right, excuse me. You can use that left hand to place on or over the right palm for a little bit more stretch. Make sure you let go in the neck and head here. Feel the left sit bone press back for the left heel. Take one more cycle to settle. And then inhale to come back into center. Exhale to walk the hands over to the left. Use the right palm on or over the left to add a little bit more stretch. Feel the right sit bone press back for the right heel. Relax through the right shoulder. And then feel that stretch along the right side of the body. Use your inhale to come back into center. Come up onto the sit bones, come into an easy pose, crossing the legs. Ground the sit bones here, rock from side to side. Lift through the sternum, hands come onto the knees, palms face down. Close the eyes if they're not. Feel the sit bones grounding into the floor. Take a big inhale in. As you exhale, you're going to twist towards the right knee. Bring the left hand on top of the right knee, the right hand behind the body. Inhale to lift up through the heart. Exhale to gaze over the right shoulder. Soften through the left shoulder. Take one more full breath. Inhale to unwind. Come back to center. Use the exhale to twist to the opposite side. Right hand comes on top of the left knee. Use the left hand to lift through the heart. Soften both shoulders. The exhale is going to turn the gaze over the left shoulder. Take one more full breath. Use your next inhale to come back to center. Pause here. Hands come to the tops of the knees, palms face up now. Invite a little bit of inspiration and creativity into your day. With the eyes closed, take 2 deep breaths. Keep the eyes closed. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. Feel the thumbs pressing into the heart. And take this last breath here to remember and seal your intention within. Blink the eyes open. Namaste. I thank you guys for joining us today for your 30-minute moving practice. I hope you guys feel a little bit more moving in the body. And let us know if you have any questions or if you have anything you would like to see for the body. And thanks for your time today. Hope to see you guys on Friday.
Good job.